Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Oh, well, that's random. Live television, everyone.
I love live television.
How'd that happen? Who's in charge around here?
Nobody. This is why you need an intern.
It's a free-for-all. Yesterday we had sound issues. Today, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but that's because it's Friday. We should always take Fridays off, maybe, is what I just learned. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I'm Richard Wilmore, and I'm here with one of the best people on the planet, Stacey Andon. Hi, Stacey.
Good morning.
I know. I feel like there are 12,000 ways to explain who you are and what you do. And so this is the problem, is that Stacey and I can get on here and we can go for hours.
We could.
And you may or may not be able to follow along during that time, but we have a great time. So
Exactly.
we really narrowed it down, because Stacey will be on probably often, to what we want to talk about today. But introduce, since it's a new show.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am a little bit all things: teacher, writer, speaker, channeler, intuitive channeler. Like, it all just kind of comes together as it needs to be. And I am not somebody who likes to be defined by boxes and labels, nor when I'm working with clients do I want them to be confined by boxes or labels. So to me, at the heart of everything I do is help myself and help everybody around me really honor their own path in life. Like, really, truly get lit up by the life you want to live and give yourself permission to go fully all in with it in ways that, you might bump up against convention, but you're absolutely going to get, I think, to the end of this life journey and be like, yeah, this was amazing. Instead of kind of sitting on the sidelines and, hoping and wishing and looking at other people and thinking, oh, that's really great. I wish I could do that. I wish I was brave enough. Like, channel that leap of faith and now. That's kind of what I'm also known for is, and it's not just big leaps of faith. It's like all the little things that we do in a moment in a day that is going to embody really trusting our own inner guidance system. So I don't know. Did I do a...
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That works for me. Full disclosure, I've known Stacey for I don't know,
20 million years. We've been...
We're probably coming up on 10 years, right?
Gotta be.
2015. Yeah. That's crazy to me. And I work with Stacey on her podcast, Everyday Enchantment. And she helps me with this show and my life and my businesses and all of the things that I do. So I love that as like a, I guess, client testimonial of yours.
Aww.
How easy of a guide you are into, like, yeah, you knew that answer. Like, you're not one of the people who's like, well, I have all the answers and you're going to listen to me for 20 minutes or an hour and I'm going to tell you what to do. You really give us like space and permission to open our own minds into like, oh, you do already know those answers.
Yeah.
Here's maybe where you can find them.
Thank you. And I think that that's a misconception of working with a coach or whatever you want to call me, because I think people think, oh, the coach is going to tell me what to do or, know better than me. Nobody knows better than you know yourself. You are the expert. And somebody who, like, I think of myself kind of like, have you ever gone whitewater rafting before? No.
First of all, I don't even know how to swim.
I would either, but I actually really love it.
And that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I went whitewater rafting, right, we're going down some serious rapids. Somebody had passed away the week before, whatever we're going on. Not that I was going on the hardest, but there's some danger there. Yeah. And so we hired a guide, and the guide didn't do all the work for us, right? We still had to paddle and maneuver and do all the things, but the guide knew, like, ooh, you could kind of get stuck here. Here's some ideas. And I felt so empowered by the end of that first rafting. I was really into whitewater rafting. And it was like, because again, you access something in you that sometimes you forget you have. You forget about your superpowers. You forget about all these gifts, all this knowing, because the world around us gets us all confused and upside down and in circles. So to me, my job isn't to like, hey, I'm going to take you in this place. It's like, no, we're going to allow your most sacred, wisest self to really come out and remind you and remind me, because I'm witnessing that, of what you want to do and where you want to go.
Who would you say like should be coming to someone like you? Should it like just a
Hmm.
blanket everyone? Is there a certain type of business owner or person going through something? Like who should reach out
That's a great
when
question. I think it's so funny because I never really targeted anybody. It wasn't my style. However, if you look at people who do work with me, a lot of it is entrepreneurs, coaches, people in the healing energy field, people who again really want to make a difference on this planet. However, we get, and myself included, we get kind of caught up in the models of how to do it. And so people who are like, you know what, this isn't really working for me. It doesn't feel good, or maybe have some level of success, but there's like some alignment, right? Like if I'm having to post, for example, 10 times on social media and I really don't want to be on social media. Those kinds of things are the kinds of things we talk about, because to me, I believe right here in this moment on the planet, we are absolutely meant to kind of reclaim our own power, agency, autonomy, sovereignty, and then use that to really, create something so much better than what the planet has seen so far. So it's a lot of the change makers, but they're not out there like, oh, they're the kind of quieter change makers that are making such a difference in each breath that they take.
quiet change makers? I like that. You provide so many different things for people. One is your podcast, Everyday Enchantment. You're in season 3 of Everyday
Wow, thanks to
Enchantment.
you. Thank you to
Well,
you.
yep, yes, I do a little bit of the fun behind the scenes stuff for you. How is season 3 going for you? Because it's changed a little bit from other
Yes.
seasons.
Well, first of all, you are the most amazing creative. You're my creative muse, director, producer. You're all the things. The podcast wouldn't have even got off the ground
I will
had it
cut to a
not be.
commercial right now if
Are
you.
you
No, no, no.
done? Finished.
That's it. Too much
Um,
about me. Goodbye.
Eh, However, when we first started together, season one, we're like, all right, I was like, I don't want a lot of roles, kind of as I just spoke.
Mhm.
Let's just experiment, get creative, and let's see what form this thing wants to take. And what I love about what you've done with me for season 3 is challenge me out past my creative edges. So what we've been doing, the two of us, is inviting people to get coached on like in a session, or to me it's like a little bit of what you would experience you can't truly encompass the whole range, because when clients are in, they're in for multiple sessions, different things are happening, but this is a window into what does it really look like and feel like to explore something for yourself. And so we have covered divorce,
Mm.
we have covered imposter syndrome, that's coming out soon, chronic illness. We have covered all the things that can really turn somebody's life upside down and make them feel maybe like, I'm not doing it right, or I don't know what to do, or I don't really want to lean into this because it's uncomfortable. There was another episode we did early on that I really loved, when life doesn't go as planned, right? Like my whole life is
Yeah.
absolutely upside down. How do I take the next step? Because our brains want to figure out the next 5 years, not the next step. And so we break it down for people. I don't know. I'm very curious how people have been listening and responding. It seems well received, but I haven't had a lot of like direct one-on-one. I need to get out there and find out what the audience thinks about listening into a session like that.
Well, if, for me, as someone who's watching it
Mhm.
unfold live, and I even as a listener not doing that, you get like just a little piece of like connection with that person, like, oh, I also have that, or something that you can take into your own life, even if it's not directly your story on the screen.
Yeah.
And I imagine for the person that you're coaching, even for that hour, it just makes them think a little bit more, and they can
Yeah.
dive deeper and make, appointments with you, or, do their own kind of discovery on the next steps. But it's a great, I don't know, I love them. I'm so glad that you're doing them this year, because they're
Yeah.
fun to listen to and watch, and it just feels like you're just really, I don't know, eavesdropping on someone's life in that like nosy neighbor type thing, but
Yeah.
also it's just such a a sacred space that they have, that you feel like you're their friend after you listen. It's really cool.
Totally. And I think ultimately people want a safe place to be able to feel what they like, feel the truth of their lives, say whatever it is without judgment. And I think that's a really hard. It's funny because I always tell everybody your superpower is the thing that comes so easily to you that you're like, oh, isn't everybody doing this? It's like, no, not everybody. Not
Mhm.
everybody's producing this amazing show that you're doing and making us all have, again, so much more laughter and joy in our lives. It's like, but we discount it. And I think one of the things that I forget in my own kind of repertoire is that creating that safe place for to be witnessed by somebody with such love and compassion and curiosity, not like, oh, why did you do that, what the hell was going what was going on
You
there?
can say that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm really trying because everybody who knows me knows that I like a good curse word.
I need a beep button
uh,
on here. We need a 10-second
the
delay.
Stacey beat button,
Yes.
totally. However, you just when you get to say something out loud, you're not holding it then, right? It has a different power and energy when you're feeling like you have to keep it in. You're like, I don't want to be married anymore. I don't like how I'm trying to juggle business and parenthood and a new relationship, and I don't feel like I'm doing a good job at any of that. That might not actually be true, but
Mm,
it feels so true in a moment that when we give space to things like that, to me, then the way through and the way forward, once you've allowed yourself to be there with that, then some clarity or some whatever is going to come and meet you in a moment from there. But it generally we're dancing around all of those things we don't want to say out loud. So to me, that is one of the things is if you're listening and you're like, I'm not in the middle of something like this, but you might be holding something. And again, it just inspires you to find somebody to say it out loud to and say, yeah, this is it. This
yeah.
this is what this is. This is my truth in this moment.
And new episodes come out Tuesdays. Tuesdays,
Uh,
something like that, right?
Monday, sometimes
Mondays?
Tuesday. The goal is Monday.
Mondays.
The goal is Monday. I've
Got
been
it.
a little bit off my game the last couple weeks, but generally speaking, I like the idea of
Of
it
starting
coming
the week
out
off.
at the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah, because then you have all week. You can listen on when you're out for a walk or you're driving to work or going to the grocery store, whatever you're doing. And the idea, at least for me, is I could talk for 3 hours, but I want people to have a life coach in their back pocket. I want them to have a conversation that they're not having to drive 3 places in
Yeah.
order to listen to. So I do try really, really. They're all under an hour, but generally speaking, 30 to 45 minutes. And if it's just me I shouldn't say just me. When it's me talking, it's even shorter because I want you to get some wisdom that it doesn't have to be long and drawn out. I want you to really just, ooh, I got it, Stace, and
Yep.
then carry on for the day.
Yep. And it's on YouTube and podcast platforms. So make sure you're
Yes.
checking that out every day. Enchantment.
Thank you.
I want to end today with you agreed to maybe do a card reading for me, and that would be fun.
I would agree to almost anything that you asked me. Let's just put it out there. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be admitting that on national, all the channels. But yes, if Richard asked me to do something, I would be like, of course I'm going to do it. There's the power he has, his magical superpowers. Yes. Okay. So oracle readings. I
Okay.
just picked a deck. I only have 50 million decks. If you have 20 million pairs of shoes out there, I have 3 pairs of shoes and equivalent in decks. And so for those of you who might not know what oracle cards are, they're just, to me, it's like inspirational decks, like just like you would take a deck of cards. It's like that. It looks like that. And the fun part is that there's usually an amazing artist that pairs with somebody who wants to channel inspirational guiding messages. And here's where I think people get a little bit kind of maybe not sure, that they think that the cards hold more power than they do. I look at the cards as like my own breadcrumbs. If I want to drop throughout my life all sorts of like, hey Stace, you got this, you can do it, what have you, I'm going to use a lot of different things. Bumper stickers in the car in front of me, song lyrics. Oracle cards are just a way for you to get in touch with your own wisdom. They aren't some, like, again, my mother would be like, oh, you have, you're tapping into some, whatever powers. It's like, no, it's your own self. It's like if your future self sent you a text message right now, that's how I look at oracle cards. So,
Okay.
hey, whatever it is you need. So let's ask a question, Rich. What do you think about, like, what adventures are here for us in the summer of 2024? Like,
That sounds
you can
fun.
ask a question, you can just be up for a message, you can pull multiple cards with multiple questions. There's lots of ways to do it, but we'll keep it simple today and be like, ooh, summer adventure, what is in store for us today? And let us see. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. And then I always, when I'm doing an oracle card, you can look at the colors of the card, the graphics, everything is at play. And there's no right or wrong way to interpret it. It's however you interpret it, which is the best part. So there we go on the TV. This is the card, Summer Adventures, Divine Timing. And the message of the card says, the divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May always trust the perfect timing. Perfect timing. I love it.
Good.
So if you think you're missing out on all the ventures of summer, this message is saying, you're not going to miss it. All of it's coming to you in the most beautiful way. You just get to sit back. I read a message the other day that I absolutely love. And it was like, when you order something online, right? You're not stressed out about, well, how is that going to get from the warehouse to the dryer? You just sit back, and 2 or 3 days later, it shows up at your door and you just receive it, right?
Yeah, you're not like, who is going to be the driver of that truck and what
Yeah.
time? Yeah.
Yeah. And are they sick today? Are they coming? We don't stress about that.
No.
And so that is something that the universe, love, whatever, spirit, whatever you want to call that, is saying, like, we don't have to go out and make the adventure happen. Like, really just take a nice breath, sit back on the porch with a tall glass of lemonade, maybe a little strawberry lemonade, and let the adventures come to you, invite you, delight you in those ways. So that's how I read that for us today. And for all of us listening, it's like just a little bit of trust that whatever fun wants to reach you and play with you this summer is already in the works, if it hasn't reached your doorway yet.
Perfect.
You're laughing. I'm like, what is he thinking?
Because there's so many, like, what, I don't know, just like thoughts I have for other things happening in the summer and ideas I have. I'm like, okay, yes, no reason to push anything ahead of trying to, like, get it to work before it's ready to work.
Yeah, let it, like, just know the most amazing summer, like, wants to play with me. And, like, again, especially right now, our job, our work in the world is to trust that and let it come. Let it be easier. We've all climbed so many mountains. We've all done the hustle. We've all gone out. And I mean, my earlier life, it was like, I felt like if anything was good was going to happen to me, I had to make it happen at the point of exhaustion, illness, you name it. And I realized as I've gotten older and gone through my own transformations, it's like, that is one way, that is a path you can take. However, here's this other path over here that offers us such a different way. And to me, it's like, do I want to just practice being on this newer path? I absolutely, like I said, whatever delights you, whatever summer ritual, like to me, there's a farmer's market. So some fresh flowers, some homemade lemonade, and a little bit of kicking back with my dog on the back porch, and like great summer read. And there you go. Let whatever it is enter, because when we make space for it that way, we can get things that we can't even, like things will come that we can't even imagine.
Mm. You're a delight, and I love you.
Likewise, I adore you. If we were in the same city again, we would probably never. We would just be creating together.
It would be
Nothing else would
dangerous.
happen.
It would be dangerous. If you want your own oracle card reading, go to staceyandon.com, and we'll put her website in the comments, in the show notes. Everyday Enchantment is Mondays, every Monday on all the podcast platforms and on her YouTube channel. Stacey, I love you.
I love you too, my friend.
Thanks for
Here's
being
to
here.
a summer of fun adventures that come right to our front door.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm going to use that in the next commercial.
Love it.
Love it. We'll be right back, everybody.
In this world of innovation, would you rather have an old, outdated flip phone or a brand new iPhone? A horse and buggy carriage or the newest luxury hybrid? A dial-up router with your AOL account or a super fast Wi-Fi hotspot? With nutrition, what you have been using or taking up until now hasn't been bad. There's just something newer. We all appreciate advancements in science and technology. In the same way we seek the best and newest in our electronics, vehicles, and everyday conveniences, wouldn't you also want the best technology and newest innovation for your nutrition and supplementation? At the time, you may have had the best from what was out there and available. Now, there is something better and newer, more bioavailable, more convenient, better tasting, faster acting. It literally is the equivalent to getting an IV full of high-tech nutrients right into your bloodstream, without the needle, without the appointment, without being attached to anything for a specific length of time. Simply pop these tasty, all-natural lozenges into your mouth and savor as they instantly start to absorb into your bloodstream through your mucous membranes. That's it. And with the added benefit of negative ions, in other words, energy, there isn't anything else out there on the market like it. Now is the time to switch to the next improvement and innovation in health and nutrition. It's time for advancement. It's time for better. It's time for APL Go and our rapid botanical DNA drops.
This week on Make Your Day Richer TV, we're elevating our online presence through content writing with John Clements. Stacey Andon is here to tell you why the world needs your flavor of magic. From the Autism Rocks and Rolls nonprofit and podcast, Sam Mitchell. Discover your true inner healer with Jenny Flora Wells. And our first in-studio guest, etiquette consultant Wendy Waters. Make Your Day Richer airs weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube and is available on all major podcast platforms. Oh my gosh, we are back. Everybody, we have hit 2,000 views of the show. 15 episodes in, 2,000 views. We're very excited. So thank you to everybody who watches, who listens, who shares, who likes, who subscribes, all the things you have to do to keep a show going, and to the sponsors of our show, the people, the guests, the viewers who are supporting this show by going to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher and supporting the show. I appreciate all of them. You'll see all of their names in the credits at the end of the show, because this show would not be what it is without them. So thank you all very much. Let's see, on our quest to get the one and only Rosie O'Donnell on the show, which I should probably start tagging her in these things, I suppose. She is, well, maybe she's watching, I'm not sure. We're going to talk today about, like every little boy had, I had Rosie O'Donnell, friend of Barbie. Barbie's first full-figure friend was available, I think, in 1999. Of course, some of it went to charity. And I have about 7 of these because people started sending them. And then after her show ended, people would find them at thrift stores and send them. So I have a collection of these. And of course, I will not open them because why would I? That would ruin it. But you can go on eBay and get them still if you also need a full-figured Barbie for your kids. All right. I have to stand up straighter because yesterday Wendy Waters was here and I went to her ribbon cutting yesterday for her new business that we talked about. So watch yesterday's show and it was really fun. And thank you for the invite to that. And I said, I forgot to ask you how I am during the show. And she said, you need to sit up straighter. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to sit up straighter. Wendy, thank you. And thank you for having such a great business here in the area. All right, I gotta go. We have a great show. We have all new shows again next week, but I have to leave now and jump on a plane because I'm going to California for a little vacation. But we have all new shows on Monday, Tuesday, all next week. So stay tuned for that. Go to YouTube. I mean, if you're watching this, you're on something. So whatever you're watching or listening to this on, make sure you're subscribing, liking, blah, 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 blah. I love you all. Have a good weekend. Go out there and do good things, and I'll see you later. Bye.